Hello and welcome to my channel, Holistic Sister. My name is Gem. Oh goodness, the camera's over here. I have to remember that. Thank you so much for everybody who tuned into my first reading last time, my first pick a card reading. Today will be my second pick a card reading. I really want to send out a huge thanks to everybody that gave me some feedback because it really did help me. Though it has actually made me more nervous because now there's expectations, right? Anyway, my goal with the pick card readings is that each time I do another one, I'm going to try and improve on something. Just one thing every time. Today, I'm going to do my best to look at the camera. So that's the thing I'm trying to improve on in my terms of editing and camera work. But hopefully, as far as the tarot readings go, we're going to have a blast. It's going to resonate and give us some great tips and information. And hopefully, it'll all flow through. One thing I just wanted to mention, as a perfectionist, an artist and a musician, I know from experience, if I wait until I feel ready to do something, I won't do it, which is why I'm doing this now. Because even though everything's not neat and proper and, you know, there's little things, things lacking in professionalism here, you know, that doesn't matter. We're here for the read, and this is what I'm offering. If you would like to receive it, please do. If not, that's okay too. All right, let's start with card number 1. The other thing I just quickly wanted to mention too is my first editing actually cut in and zoomed in on me, so it's probably going to do it again. So I've tried to sit further away from the camera, so hopefully this time when it does cut in, when I go to editing, it won't be of my ear. Hopefully it'll have some space around me. Okay, let's do this. Card number 1. I'm reading first from the Light Seers cards. And here is card number 1. Whew. So I'm looking at this card and I'm seeing a full emotional let go. It's not a negative let go. It's not a sadness. It's a real freeing of emotion. Maybe there's a step that you're going to be taking, a leap of faith. Definitely with the bowls there, and you can actually see at the top there's waves, what to me is represented as waves, which is very based in emotion, but the position that this person is in is one of letting go of the traumas and the past, and being okay with the emotions that have come through life, and the treasure down the bottom almost representing how abundantly wealthy you are, but at the same time representing that that's not what you're focused on in terms of manifesting. You're really going through a deep emotional cleansing and renewal and beginning, leaving things in the past and starting again. That's what I get from that card, and I don't know in what capacity that is, so it's going to be different again for everybody. I would say we'll look at the next card and see how that plays out. Again, I will edit the photos in so you can see the cards properly, and edit what deck I'm using. Yeah, another card which represents new ideas and new beginnings to me. It also, this card represents to me the balance on the sword down the bottom there over the cliff edge. It's like a risk, but a risk that you've got under control. Whether that's whether you've had an emotional let go, an ending of something and a new beginning of something in your life to do with your emotions or not. This next card coming along with that represents that you're okay. You've got a lot going on for you, a lot of new ideas, probably a lot of questions about what to do next and what to focus on, because the light bulbs in the corner here represent to me ideas, and some of those ideas are fully fulfilled and you know how to do them, you've done it before, and some of them aren't quite in vision yet, some of the new ideas of where you're going to go next. Now I'm tempted to say, okay, I'm going to say it, moving, where you're going to move next, and that could be in terms of, okay, an end of a relationship, or a new job, or a new home, but really looking into and deciding where you're off to. You've got those two birds there, which to me represent spirit supporting you as well on the way, and guiding you and really having your back there, totally surrounding you. They're flying all around you, just to say that, yep, keep moving forward, keep trusting your intuition and your gut with all the different things that are coming up for you. Could be in terms of study too, obviously, looking into the book there. And a lot of magic coming forth from that research and that study and that newness, and that, again, generalized reading, that could be you're studying to look to move to a new place, a new job, new ideas, new beginnings, and it's almost like you've had to let go and work through and process these emotions from the first card to then be moving on with the second card into your... Whoop, that one is flipped, so let's give it a go. There's two there. Again, being guided by spirit, in terms of, for this card to me, in terms of finances, you might be guided to something that's not as financially beneficial as you would have hoped, whether that is in, like, this new beginning might be, if you're moving houses, maybe it's going to be more expensive, or you're going to be paying more, or if you're changing jobs, maybe the job might be a little bit less in financial reward at this time anyway, or like straight up, but cooking in the background there is more financial reward. So even though you might be going into this new endeavor, this new home, this new job, this new study, whatever these ideas are that are going through your head right now, it will get easier financially in the future. It's just right now it might not feel like, there's that risk in the second card too on the sword. So it's like I'm actually getting anxiety. So like you're fearful of making the wrong choice with where you're going here, but also really using your intuition. The bird again represents spirit and intuition to me, and that you're being guided by that. So even logically you might be going, really, is that what I should be doing? If you're feeling that in your gut, go with it. Do what that really, trust your intuition. Yeah. The next card that came out, to me, this represents a lone path. Like, again, it's following the path of the newness of a new job, a new moving, maybe end of a relationship, start of a new one, and really holding on. Yeah, this card to me is a card of deep personal, why do I want to say solitude? Even though she's holding a purse, it's like the abundance that's the purse represents abundance in more than financial ways. So even though that could also be an aspect for you, where you're holding on to all your last pennies right now, which I have to say a lot of us are in this world today. To me, this also represents like that emotional, personal, holding on to your own power, holding on to what's special to you, and just looking after that and not letting anybody have it, and not I don't know. We'll read into that some more to see how that how that trails off from that one, the new beginnings. But just, yeah, maybe with that financial thing, just still being cautious with the money, because maybe maybe it's gone. Okay, move on to the next one. All right. I almost see like things are going to be challenging, and life is often challenging, isn't it? We don't always like those challenges. I understand myself, but it's asking for you to remember how strong you are. You have been through worse. You have been through tough things before. You've got that gentleness about you as well, and that innocence as well, but you have a fierceness and a power that, even though you may be a little bit timid and scared of what's happening next for you, you really need to, don't like saying need to, it would really serve you to look within yourself and really pull upon that power, that inner strength. Yeah. All right, I'm going to move on to another deck now. So, we are going to do Cosmic Dreamer Oracle cards. Okay. Even though I did clear these cards before I began, we're taking that one. Just felt the need to do that again, so maybe that's why. For this card, pop straight off. So this card's just really being grateful for what you do have and that you have had for a long time. The riches that you do have, which is a lot, and they may not always be financial, but there is a lot of them for each of us. There are so many things we can count to be grateful for, and it's hard to do that when we're in a state of having to focus on the financial things, on the more physical things, because boy, does that take over a lot of our lives when we're having financial stresses. It really does. It really can disrupt our mental health. And there's no shame in that, but it's important to realize how much you do have as well, and be grateful for the things that we do have. I'll leave that one there. Let's give these a shuffle and see what comes up. No, I'm not good at this looking at the camera thing, am I? But that's okay. You can just listen if you like. Do the dishes. That's what I do. Do the dishes. Have a listen. And that one flipped over for us. Yeah, it's a deep surrender in this reading for me. The first card that came up was that emotional surrender and that deep let go of the past as well, and the past traumas, and freeing yourself with the change and the newness of what's coming. But the card here that's come up, Null, when I look at this card, I do feel that renewal and that solitary renewal, that emotional renewal. It might feel lonely going on this new adventure, new journey, new move, end of relationship perhaps. But there's a peace in solitude, and there's also an awareness we can get when there's no other noise and no one else influencing us, when we just be by ourselves. I'm feeling like with this card, I'm feeling being outdoors and even looking at the stars and reflecting on them and zoning out into them, and really renewing your light again, because I really do feel that there's a new beginning here in some way for you. So we'll just see what else comes out of the Cosmic Dreamer card. Excuse me. I'm outside today, so there probably is some bird noise and car noise. So everything that happens to us for a reason, even the endings, even the people that make us feel uncomfortable, that hurt us, that loved us and loved us, that love us and leave us, loved us and left us, one of them. Even if that's still related to the job, it's like that thing, that relationship, that connection that we're moving away from now needed to still happen. So you don't have to look at it as, oh, I wish that never happened, like that was the worst job ever, or that was the worst partner ever. And when I'm saying this, I'm guilty of these things too. So this is just what I'm seeing when I'm focused in. It's like there's been a lot of, I don't know if I want to say drama, just emotion, but sometimes heated, uncomfortable, burning, hot emotion between you and whoever this person is, or this situation that you're moving from homes, moving jobs again. But you don't have to look at it and say, oh, I wish that never happened and that was horrible. And I mean, yes, sure, it could have been those things, and maybe making you feel that way, which often is a protection mechanism I've found for myself. But really just realizing a fated encounter, as it says on the card as well, realizing that everything that happens is for our own grace as well. Even the stuff we don't like, we can reflect back on it, even if it's in years to come, and go, oh wow, look how much I learned from that experience. Oh, I'm wobbling the camera a lot. We'll work on that for take 3. Okay, let's do another one of these. Yeah, again, so this thing that we feel is so negative and has been dramatic and monstrous. Now, again, when I say these things, it's a general reading, so I can't be too specific for each individual. So I need you to see if this connects with you in some way in your life. But when I'm reading this card, it's like there's a darkness and a love in the card. So even though this person or this thing from our recent, or even present to recent, maybe past soon, even though there's been some horrible things happen, there's also been some beautiful things happen, and there's been some growth for yourself out of this. And no matter where they are, or you know, if you're leaving a job, no matter where that business goes on to, you've still taken away some not lessons, but some beauty. And I see that in the flowers in the background there too. You're still taking away a lot of growth from the situation, even though it might feel like all you can see is the negative in your face, because that's the current or the recently past emotion that may have been connected to this situation. Again, it does have you, the first card in the whole reading, having you that reset and letting go of those emotions and renewal. So depending where you're up to in that journey on this read, you might already be past that, but moving forth, just seeing that not everything is negative. I've got a kiss plane to me out there. Okay. I picked these up without even thinking, so. And I probably wouldn't have if I was thinking, because I don't know these cards very well. But my buddy did what my buddy did, so we shall go with it. Well, this is a really positive, beautiful card, actually, and it shows you very abundant and happy and fruitful, a fruitful life ahead. There's a beautiful puppy in there, and maybe it represents a child or actual puppy or a pet or a loved one that is coming on this new beginning with you, and that is supporting you and there for you emotionally. Even if that could be your best friend, the dog man's best friend. But there's a lot of beauty in this card, and a lot of positivity in that, what looks like a chandelier hanging there. It reminds me of the Sia song, Chandelier. And if you actually listen to those lyrics, they're quite, they can be a little bit deep, I think. But just letting go of the pain in the past, and shining on with this new beginning, and swinging from that chandelier, and surrounded by gold and wealth and fruit as well. Another one for this. Just the reading. What else can we do with this new beginning? Have we got any advice on it? Any advice on what to do, how to get there? There's two. Again, strength. So that's come up twice, but in two different decks. So the advice is, to be strong. This time it's funny that the other strength is a lion, and this time it's a tiger. But as I said, noise outside. Maybe that's how you're feeling too, interrupted by noise, whether it's outside noise or internal noise that's in the way of realizing how strong you are. And you're infinitely strong. Again, it shows up both the symbol. You're infinitely strong. Your strength has not gone away. Maybe you're just having to access it more now than you have had to make this new transition and to go into this new beginning. But everything about the transition looks very positive, and everything that did happen before this transition that may have felt not so positive happened for a reason, for you to be where you are. And I know that with my own health, if I didn't have the health problems that came up for me, I wouldn't be where I am now, and I'm meant to be where I am now, and I'm really happy and grateful that I am where I am now. So again, it's that, looking at the next card for me, it's the camel, but it's like got everything on its back. It's going to this new direction. It's flying it's flying. It's following the flying duck, which to me again represents spirit bird form. So yeah, just trusting your intuition, following that guidance towards the new beginning that you're headed towards. I feel that it's a big move, a big new job, a new relationship, or the end of one of those things. So where do we want to go next? Okay, well, I might have to do two then. Synchronicity. I haven't timed these readings. I'm going for about 20. I know I'm over, but I did give the introduction in this one. So, but we just got to read what we need to read. We can't put big time limits on this thing. You'll tell me when it's the end. Oh. Yeah, okay. And the card says ready. I'll tell you when it's the end. Here I am. I'm ready. I'm ready for the end. Okay. You are ready. I get it. You're ready for the new beginning. It is a loneliness in this card. So, and when you start a new job too, there's that loneliness, and the move as well moving away from some people that you've had close to you. Now it says ready, but when I look at the card, I feel like you don't feel like you're ready. But you're getting there. You're like taking the breaths and taking the letting it go. Again with that first card, letting those emotions go for the reset. Okay. Are we ready? Really ready to go on a new river. Yeah, we're ready to flow. We're definitely ready to flow. I'm not going to do this because turn them over because my video is going to edit it out, I'm sure, but I will put them all in for you. Yeah, you're ready to go down the river. So, and when I see that, when I feel that, I feel like this is definitely a new emotional journey for you, and you may be scared, but you are strong. Everything has happened for a reason. It's a very positive future. It might not feel like it right now. It might feel like finance is going to be harder, and they might be harder, but that shouldn't always be our I don't think it's so hard to say that. I don't even want to say it. It's hard to make decisions around money when we're lacking it, when we feel we're lacking it. So, but the reading is saying that you are ready. Now these cards too will not familiar with the mushrooms. I've had a look at them. Mushroom cards, Midnight Magic, and couldn't read much from them. So let's see what happens, because there's a couple that just turned over for you, and that's the ones I'm going to take. And then we're going to put them down. So I feel like when I look at this card, along with the other cards in the reading, you might be leaving something toxic. You might be leaving something that, okay, again, I'm going to go into some sort of relationship. Doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. This could be a boss. This could be a parent. This could be a friend that you've decided, or a flatmate that you've decided to move away from. And perhaps there's been some challenges. Definitely through this reading, I see there's been some uncomfortable challenges in that relationship between you and whoever, whatever this is. And you're ready to grow and move on and fly away and be free and happy and on your own journey. And you are supported, so don't forget you are spiritually supported. Please remember. I'm always picking on myself and my language when I talk. Maybe you're doing that too. Let's see. And yeah, this is a great card because I was going to end it on this card, but we'll see. new beginning, totally new beginning. Ace of Pentacles. Just have faith. Have faith that things will feel better. They might not feel great right now, but we got to cleanse. So, just check. Okay. This book here, A Guide for the Advanced Soul. My dad had this when I was young, and I used to open it. It's just to open up, and a little quote in there for you. This isn't the same book. I found this at an op shop when I was early 20s, late teens, and I was like, oh my God, that's like my favorite book. Come back to me. So here we go. A Guide for the Advanced Soul. Do we have any advice for card number 1 reading? Now that one popped open because of the bend in the book, okay, and that one and that one. But I'm looking at this one here, that's where I'm feeling drawn. And this one says, begin with the possible. Begin with one step. There is always a limit. You cannot do more than you can. If you try to do too much, you will do nothing. And that, give me goosebumps, because that is how I feel, and what I said. That probably won't work. I'll take a photo. What I said at the beginning of this reading, actually, and at the beginning of starting, is when I wait until I feel ready, I don't do anything. When it comes to reading, music, the work, the things I'm passionate about, because I put so much pressure on myself to be perfect and to have everything right, and there's so many things that I want to have right. The folds in this material that I'm taking photos on, the noise in the background, makeup, lighting. There's so many things that I feel are not perfect. But if I'm waiting all the time for those things to be perfect, then I don't make a move. So that's what I'm feeling in this reading. It's time to make a move. It's time for the new beginning, whatever that is. I'm not telling you to leave your partner. This is not a directed at you, leave your partner reading. This is a new, for something in your life that has been draining you, and that you need to let go of emotionally to move on to this new beginning. That's what I'm feeling. That even though you might not feel ready, take a step. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that reading and that resonated for you. We're going to move on to reading number 2 now. I think that's it for you guys. If you did enjoy it and it did resonate, please leave a comment, and maybe subscribe, share, whatever you want to do, and help support me as I grow as a reader, because without you, there's no point in me doing this, and without your feedback, I don't know how I'm doing. Thank you. Hello and welcome to card number 2's reading. Thank you for joining me today. If card number 2 doesn't resonate, please try number 1 or 3. That would be great. And give me some feedback. That'd be even better. The first card I've picked over for you out of the Lightseers Tarot. Another emotional card to start this reading. I feel like, I mean, obviously we've all had emotions in the past as well as the present, but I feel like you've dealt with a lot in the past emotionally, and you're in the middle of trying to empty out some of your emotions, and I'll just read a little bit further into it. Feels a little bit sad. Perhaps there's something that's come up for you emotionally in life that's triggered, sadness, maybe losing somebody, or something personal for you, definitely, that is striking at your heart. the thing is, in the background now, you've got so much going on. That's wonderful for you as well. But this, whatever's happens now, has taken a bit of your focus away from that. I feel like you've come along, you've walked a long way in this life to get to where you are now, and you've actually emptied out a lot of that emotional trauma and baggage already, and there's something you're working through now that is taking some of that focus from the positive, wonderful things that are going on in your life. Not to say that you don't know about them, it's just taking some of your focus away from them right now. So I'm going to change decks already. What have I got here? Hold your hands. I think that's what it's called. I'll put the photo up. Bang. Photo up for you for your second card. The deck that we're reading from. Let's see what is going on for you right now. Oh, so many things going on right now that are falling out. I'm going to take all these cards. I'll do this one first. I've got some travel, actually, that's come up next. Traveling to see someone that you haven't seen for a long time. Now, again, a general reading, so this is going to be different for everybody, and the same for some people, but I don't know why I'm feeling like you're traveling to either for a funeral or to see someone that you haven't seen for a long time, or it could be a relative, friend, going somewhere that you haven't been for a long time. Getting out of here. We'll read into that more and see with these other cards that have come out if that is a travel situation or family. Yeah, maybe something to do with family there. So, or old friends reuniting. There's a table set for quite a few people, but not everybody has a plate there. And I do believe they're setting, not clearing, because there's no food on those plates. So I feel like there's some sort of loss in this reading. We'll see. That's very specific, so that might not be for a lot of you, but that's just what I'm feeling from it. Something to do with family, loss, and travel so far. But we've also, yeah, next card's a very positive card, so let's read the two together. I feel like something's happened here with, something emotional has happened here. Something you're thinking quite deeply about that's distracted you from other things, and perhaps something that wasn't planned as well. So the travel coming in there might be going somewhere to see family, or a reunion of some sort, a funeral, wedding even. But I feel there's some sort of sadness around it. Hope this is specific for somebody, because it's becoming, I'll try and read into it a bit more. Very specific. You've got goals that you're working on, and new goals, creating new things in your life. So that's separate to what's going on here as well. So there's, like I said, when the cards flew out, there's a lot of things going on. So I feel like there's one train of your life here that's, yeah, so that's it. So the card number one that has the bowl and the background of the rainbows, which is the wonderful things that are going on for you right now, but there's something else that's distracted you from that. And maybe something unexpected to do with family or friends that you're having to go and travel for. But I see on the other hand, you're working on something new for yourself. So, and you're creating a new page for yourself, and seeing yourself more clearly. as an individual, and how special you are. So even though there's a sadness in this reading on one hand, I also see personal growth along with that, feeding along with it. So, which is often the way of life. Like, so many things going on at once. Not always happy and always sad. Always sad and always happy. Let's see what we have. I'm going to have these ones again next. Now I've taken them out of their packets. We have here the Crystal Magic Tarot. So I'm going to read on to this next line here, which is about your personal growth, which is looking positive and like you've had a bit of a transformation in the way that you see yourself. And when I look at that card, the moon on a mirror, like you're finally seeing how much strength and power that you do have. Regardless of this side thing happening. So I do see a lot of emotions going on still here. Being that boat out in the water there, I feel like this has been a really personal journey happening, that you've, there's the first card that I've picked with the emotions that you've worked through and processed in the past. It's representing that again for me here. That you've gone through a lot by yourself to get to where you are now, and to grow what you've grown now. So you've come a long way from here, the image of the boat on the water and the murky green water in the darkness. There is light there as well coming through, but almost like a solitary. My eyes aren't good enough to see how many people are on the boat, but I feel it's a solitary journey there, an emotional one that you've gone through to get to where you're going now with this new developed perspective of yourself, a new perspective of yourself that's more in tune with who you are and how strong you are. And you've come through all those things to get to where you are now, which shows a lot of family and love and organization and looking after each other. That's what I get from the animals here. Animals always represent a lot of healing to me as well, and family and teamwork, looking after each other, and just having the cat, the bird, and the dog there, all three of them, which are often seen as enemies in the animal world. In this card, I see that nobody's fighting, and they've got food there, and nobody's fighting. So the fact that it's interesting that the child here has a mask on. I wonder when these were printed. Anyway. The mask to me in this represents the protection of yourself that you've had to do to be able to keep these things in order in your life. So real emotional, deep work that you've had to do to make things work and to keep on the path that they're on. I'm going to see what else is going on here, because again I've got these two things happening where it comes through that there is a sadness and an emotional thing happening in your life, but at the same time you've worked through so much of those emotions previously as you've grown into who you are now, that you are seeing yourself more clearly, and for the strength that you have, and now you're ready to start that new painting and ready to start that new chapter of what you want in your life, like just for you, where you want to be, and just showing that work that you've done on yourself as well. Maybe to keep the peace and to keep everything in a line, and physically, like family life happening, you've had to work at your own emotional healing to be able to keep that in order, which makes sense. We need to do that to keep things in order. Okay, let's see where we're drawn next. Okay, my first card number 1 reading, I felt a lot of anxiety during it. Card number 2's reading, I'm feeling a lot of doubt. So I don't know where that's coming from, if it's just coming from me or if that's somehow connected to this reading. But the emotional shift is quite dramatic between the two. So I'm going to go into Cosmic Dreamer now and pick a card from there, because you can see what the blocks are. Let's have a look at that, what that doubt is that's coming up. First of all, I want to try and release it. Again, like, it's coming up as a real personal thing to me. Astral Voyage is the card that we've got coming up next. I just feel a little bit confused on my past. Like, I know that I've got this magic, and I know I've got, I want to say, better self-esteem than what I used to have. And, you know, I heard another reader say this as well, that when they're doing a pick a card reading, they can actually feel a reading for themselves in each of them. And I did do that when I had when I was doing the first pick a card readings, I did. And so I'm feeling it again in these ones, because that's definitely a message for me as well in there. The self-doubt and a little bit of confusion on direction there. That's, again, could be my own brain coming in, but that's just what's coming up for me as I look at this card as well. It's like I'm going to say but you, me and you perhaps, perhaps us together, we're following this light within us that we didn't see as clearly before. And we're like focused on it and focused on it. But there's all this other stuff going on in the background that's confusing and sometimes taking us off our path a little bit. So even though we've done so well at dealing with these emotions and the self-esteem, there's still that voyage. We're still on the journey. We're working through it. Following the butterfly. Keep following the butterflies. Let's go. Do you have any tips for us? Any advice at this point in our journey? I'm going to pick 2 here. Okay, that's good. 2 together. Again, it's just representing to me the duality of life and emotion as well. Like, we've got the black sun, which feels pretty heavy and dark. So I feel there's something in your life that is sparking that emotion of sadness. But at the same time, there's other parts in your life that are going really well in terms of self-growth and self-esteem and keeping everything in order, seeing yourself more clearly and having an idea of where you want to go in the where you want to I want to say be directions. Interesting, I'm really stumbling across this read. So I feel often the things that are happening to me during a read, I will have to tell you, because it might be what you're feeling right now. Like you're stumbling a bit, like you're a bit like, I don't know where to go next. Or there's this other thing happening that's keeping you, and that's okay. Like, I just took a week off for a migraine off. I don't know where I went. Don't remember being here. But I needed it. And I feel that in the reading too. Like, just because there's been this thing that might have shifted you off the path that you are on and that new growth that you have been going through, life sort of drops those bombs on us sometimes that we weren't expecting and can make us feel like slightly pushed off path. But the next card after the Black Sun comes in as the Cosmic Egg, which to me just represents that's just a part of life. You know, the dark and the light. Don't get picking my brain with that word, don't. Try not to be hard on yourself. That's what I'm try not to be hard on myself. That when things aren't always going in the flow, that's okay, because that's also a part of the flow, it not going in the flow. Does that make sense? In the whole scheme of things, in the Cosmic Egg here, things aren't always light and lovely. There is darkness in there, but that's part of the journey, and that's part of life, and that's part of the wholeness. So just keep at that, looking at your reflection and growing that self-esteem, and that where you're going next. I'm just going to, where are you going next? So the two cards together, we've got Eclipse, and then we've got Butterfly Effect, which to me is also that growth again. So coming out of that darkness and really shining. So even though you might be going through something challenging right now, something that feels sad, and it might have taken you off your path a little bit, just know that you won't stay off your path. You are going to be going back onto that, and you are going to flourish and fly like a beautiful butterfly with others too, like-minded. So don't get so stressed about that. That's the dark stuff that comes in, I mean, when I say dark, the uncomfortable stuff that comes into life, easier said than accepted, is there for a reason, and is part of the journey for whatever reason. We might not always know. Not 100% sure why I had a migraine. I've queried a lot. So I'll just take this one first. This is from Synchronicity Cards. Yeah, remembering your own strengths, keeping that, even though you feel like you've gone a bit off path, don't let that overtake. Not even that you've gone a bit off path, but maybe you've been distracted or something's happened, which sadness is a part of life as well. Those feelings are also a part of being human. And just allowing that to be okay, that you may have dipped into those feelings and you hadn't been, like you'd been on a good flow, and then maybe you've dipped back into some of those uncomfortable feelings for whatever reason, or for no reason, but to do with family, or maybe someone passing, or something to do with the travel there as well again, which feels family to me. But yeah, remembering the strength through that. So yes, have that time to just go, you know what, today I just don't have it in me to do blah, 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 whatever it is. But that's okay. That's not the end of it. That doesn't mean I put it down altogether and walk away from this path. I just have to remember that this is a time for me to rest, but I have the strength inside of me. It is not going anywhere. And again, the card that came straight after that's Resilience, which is perfect to me. You know, you have the strength. You do have it. You might not always feel it, but in accepting that you might not always feel it, it can sometimes come back, you know. I mean, I don't want to say sometimes come back, because it will come back, that feeling of strength. But in accepting that we might not always feel 100% positive and happy, the stuff that's hard and tough, if we know it's not forever, it helps us to get through it as well, and to accept it, and to know this is another part of the journey. This too shall pass. Yeah. Speed. Okay, so we don't have control over the speed of everything that we want to happen. I'd like to, like, if I would like to manifest a phone call right now that makes me win a lot of money. But the time frame, unfortunately, is not up to me, I don't believe, unless it's me saying that's making it. But this card Speed is just that, yeah, not rushing yourself, actually, and Oh, it's so amazing, the symbology of it matching up on the table here next to the orange chakra. I'll have to show you a little picture of that together. Yeah, so just relax and be okay with the downtime. Yeah, retreat again matches with that one. Be okay with the downtime, and the feeling off path is okay, because you're not off path. You've got the strength. It's not going anywhere. Just keep that in mind, even through this hard time or whatever you are going through. And home, you might be isolating more than usual. You might need that time out for yourself to go through whatever this is that you're going through. And all I feel is a little bit of sadness in this reading, and a little bit of feeling like off path because of that sadness or that event or that emotional event that might have taken place, that's making you feel like that you're not going to get back to where you were, but you are. You really are. And you're going to get further than where you were. It's only up from here. Mushrooms. Okay, midnight magic. Do we have something for card number 2, Reedy? Yeah, the Hermit. So it's okay to take that time. It's okay to have that solitude time and time out from the social life and the high vibes, or that high vibe. If you're not feeling it right, that's okay. Don't put so much pressure on yourself, and don't worry so much about it not coming back, because it's a roller coaster. Emotions generally, for me, have been. They go up, they go down. They don't stay the same. Everything changes. Yeah, and just a reminder that this says King of Pentacles, this one. I'm not going to even try to pronounce the mushrooms. I'm putting photos of these cards so you can pronounce them yourselves. But yeah, a lot of beauty in this card as well. And also the fact that mushrooms grow in the darkness, to pick this card out now with all those beautiful diamonds around them as roses growing, to show that the growth through this stage of maybe sadness, isolating, retreating, staying at home perhaps more than you were, that doesn't mean you can't grow. You are growing through that, and excuse me, and it will come back to you, that feeling of strength. So don't forget how beautiful and strong you are. And I'm going to pick another card from the Light Seers to wrap up your cards in this reading. What do you need to know right now? What would help you on your path? Oh, that too. Being kind to yourself. Just be kind to yourself. Taking that time out and not beating yourself up. Pampering yourself a bit. Eating well, eating healthy, or... there's a bottle of wine, so it depends on your opinion. Your perspective on wine. Right, we've got grapes there too, if you'd rather go for the grapes. But just that treating yourself too. Treating yourself well. The roses there too. Giving yourself the gifts you need and the love that you need. Self-care. And that horse, I feel like, is there waiting for you to hop back on. So it's not going anywhere. It's standing there waiting for you to come back. Whatever's going on at the moment, or just happened, that might have been bringing those emotions. It's not anything to fear. The emotions aren't anything to fear. They're a part of the ride, and you'll get back on the horse. And beautiful card for the last card there is the Queen of Pentacles, which every time I see this card, it's such growth, and like, what a beautiful queen she is. Just magical, in her element. The big gold pentacle too. Like, it's like you've gone through this journey with whatever it is, the isolation a little bit due to some sadness that's come into your life. But going through that, don't be scared about those feelings, because having that resilient, that strength of the eagle as well, and not rushing yourself to get through so quickly, having that retreat and that time at home is good for you. And through that darkness, there is a lot of beauty and growth. Just remember to give yourself a lot of love, and try not to be so hard on yourself when you don't get things right. Talking to myself. And everything's going to be fine. Everything will be beautiful, and you'll have so much growth from this experience. Where do we want to go in any of these books? I'm going to give you a tip from the chakra cards. So these are a little bit of advice to do with your chakra points. So let's see what it says. You might need to focus in on, or might like to. Okay. Oh, I got two. Third eye. This is the 6th chakra in the body system. Having a strong third eye chakra allows you to use your powerful intuition for spiritual growth and a more generous attitude towards life. Physical disorders associated include headaches, eye and sinus problems. Funny that. I've had a headache. One of the third eye chakra's main roles is to balance everyday activities. Okay. And we have crown chakra affirmation. I go beyond my limiting beliefs and accept myself totally. Which these cards I just think are beautiful to end that reading with. And accepting yourself, accepting myself, going beyond those limiting beliefs. I see the readings are for me too. So I hope that resonated with one of you out there, and let me know if it was just for me. Otherwise, try number 1 or number 3. I will be back. We'll be clearing, cleansing, and by the time that's done, it might be a lot darker in the background. So thank you very much for tuning in. Please subscribe, follow, blah, blah, blah. Should I put the little editing things in the screen? Subscribe, follow, share. Thanks, everybody. Hello, and welcome to card number 3 reading. I have since turned the light on and put a jacket on because it's getting cold. Number 2 reading was actually both number 1 and 2 have shifted me emotionally, so I've had to really let go of those readings before I've moved on to the next one. So, card number 3, we have, again, this is an intuitive reading, even though I'm using some tarot cards mixed with oracle cards. We don't always read the tarot meaning. But we do have 2 of Pentacles here for your first card in card reading number 3. When I see this card, I see a divide between the physical and the spiritual. And I see this holding on to the spiritual, but the physical world is taking some of our focus at the moment over our spirituality. And I'm going to read into that a little bit more with the second card, but that's what I see when I see this card. I see the duality between physical and spiritual world. And let's see where you are with those things, shall we? Or what the cards say. Where are you right now in your life? You are. Okay. Very family oriented card, this one. The symbology in it to me with the mother, child, and father all working together for something, for happiness together. working on those projects together for harmony. It's actually quite a positive card. Interesting that I believe that you were representing perhaps the daughter in this relationship, because the first card also in the orange skirt and the second card also in the orange skirt stand out to me. Plus you're also touching the middle, the middle symbol in the pentacles on that piece of artwork, which I'm feeling the same energy as the bag you're holding. So I'm going to read the next two cards as to what's going on with these physical and spiritual message and family. Oh, a lot of beauty in that one. A lot of love. A lot of self-love and love that you're giving out to people. A real giving card, I feel, with this one, because I feel there's like a push with the hands in the cup rather than a pull. So even though it's coming from your heart, and we have the water flowing out of the bowl there as well towards the person looking at the card. So I feel like you're a real giver and nurturer. And so perhaps in this relationship, the family that's shown up here, you might be keeping the peace, the peacekeeper between two people that aren't really looking at each other. Fourth card, okay. So I'm going to read into that a little bit further with the next card, but this card to me often represents the past playing an effect on our minds at the moment. So something that's happened in the past, something emotional or traumatic that's still coming up for you emotionally or in physically, so it keeps getting brought back up, and perhaps that's not what you want. Let's have a look into what it is. I'm going to actually go with these ones. This is the Lonely Soul, Journey of a Lonely Soul deck. It's quite, I think it's beautiful imagery, but it is quite gothic looking. But I'm gonna pick one out of here to see what that past thing is. If that's yeah, it's something that's not so present. It's something that is from the past, but it's like just keeps showing up for you. And I don't know if someone else is bringing that up into your life for you. It's like you've been giving, you've been keeping the peace, you've been holding things together, balancing the physical and the spiritual, being pulled a bit more into the physical, perhaps because of the people that you're looking after or taking care of, giving to. I feel like you've had to be in charge and in control a lot of what's happening in your life at the moment, in terms of maybe you're the leader in the family, or at work you might be the boss or the manager, or just in life in general, you're the one having to keep it all flowing and together. And you're a real giver. You've been giving a lot of yourself, but there's something that's happening that's coming back up for you that you don't really want there. That's from the past. It's being brought back up and bothering you at the moment. And I see that in the next cards, that I see that it's still lurking there. It's still lurking there, this thing from the past. And you're ready to move on from that. Emotionally, you're ready to let that go and let go of that past energy. But something else is bringing that back and bringing that up. And maybe that's a thing of feeling PTSD for some people. So something that's happened in the past that's still physically affecting them also applies for me as well, like all the readings seem to. But you're like ready to throw that over the bridge. I'm done with this. I've already moved through this. I've grown past this this obstacle that was from the past, and I don't really want this around anymore, but it's still lurking there for me. So yeah, and you're on such a path of healing and trying to let go of that, but it's not going away. So you've come from the cards I see so far. So you're balancing between your spiritual and your physical life, being pulled a bit more to the physical. You're a very loving, giving person that's keeping the balance, keeping the peace, keeping things under control. But there's something from the past, whether it's something emotionally, internally for you, or something that someone else is bringing up from the past that you are over and that you don't want to deal with and you don't want to have to go into anymore, because you've actually worked so hard at moving forward and seeking a better life for yourself, or a better emotional state for yourself, that this coming back up is just like, come on, I'm trying to move past this. Why is this happening? And I'm not too happy about it. So let's see what we can do in terms of how we can help to move past this. Yeah, I'm going to go with you. Oh, it's coming straight out. A new beginning card, so let's extend on that one. Aces for me are often new beginnings and start of new things. But when it comes to this, I feel it's a little bit of an emotional thing that's coming back from the past. So how do we let go of that and really, really get a new beginning on it? And how do we move away from that uncomfortableness that we've worked so hard to get through? I'm just showing the balance, the duality of the sun and the moon there in that card, but also this woman looks quite content, feasting as well. And she's had so many experiences in life. That's what I see from the cups. Like, she's already eaten all the other bowls. And at a point in this time, like, I've had this happen, and you've worked through so much of it through your life, through the positives and the negative feelings that come along with life. I feel it like you've just been eating through it. Like, here's another bowl, even though you might not be hungry. Here's another thing for you to work through, and you just, okay, I'm on to bowl number 8 now. Like, you're still fairly content with it, but it's like you still want to let go and not feel forced to eat when you don't want to eat. And when I say that, I feel you don't want to constantly have to deal with this thing that keeps being brought up for you. So whether it's PTSD or someone else is bringing it up, this emotional feeling that's coming up from the past, it's like you've just worked through so much. You're like, can we just let that go and start anew? And come on, I've done all this work, so let's start fresh and clear and ground. I'm going to use these cards here, which are the Cosma Visions Oracle. I think I read that wrong. Cosma. Okay. If I can get it open. Now the card, the message I was going to ask these cards was, some tips here on how to move forward and how to have this thing let go of the past. How we can keep moving forward in life. Because you're such a beautiful person. I see such a loving heart. Okay. Oh, fell right out and didn't see it. Yeah, I still see that looking back into the past with this card. The 3 of Embers, but it's like your friends and your loved ones and your support are there for you, bringing you forward, and there's just this part of you that's looking back still. I'm looking back at the shadows, the pain, again, could be PTSD, but there's people there helping you through it. So we need to try and focus on them a little bit more, I think. It's really hard. Trauma is complicated and complex. And you think you've gotten through it all and you've done so much work to move on, and then boom, something happens to bring it back up again, and it's hard to move on from it, to not get caught in looking at that again. What can we do for ourselves to move on and let it go? This one came up in my first pick a card readings as well. I think finding someone that you can confide in is a real key to working through that emotion. That's what I'm seeing. That could be a therapist, a friend, a lover, a parent. If you have something weighing heavy on you, maybe you think because it is something from the past that you shouldn't be feeling these feelings anymore, or it shouldn't be affecting you anymore. It shouldn't be distracting you and taking your attention. And a way to help let go of that, I'm seeing in this card, is finding someone that you can sit with and let it out with, someone that you really trust to be vulnerable with, because you might be scared of judgment for the feelings that you're having. And that was the Seven of Lotuses that little message came from. There's one there too, I see that it's like it's been cut, the lotus. So I feel like that kind of represents that little bit of hurt. Like, you've got all these other things all in a row and beautifully lined up in your life there. So I don't want you to take this as a complete negative reading about your life, because that's not what I'm seeing at all. I'm just seeing there's something there that is from the past that you're wanting to let go of, and you've been distracted back to it and looking for ways on how to move forward out of that. And even though there's all these other things that are going so well for you in your life, you've got this one thing that's just still bugging you, distracting you. What else can we do with that to help? Community. Yeah, having people that you can lean on, because when it comes down to the basics, we've all experienced some sort of trauma, and finding people you can relate to on that, even if it's online, in a group of people you don't know. So if that's something you feel less vulnerable about doing, opening up to people, there's lots of specific groups for people's different past traumas or emotions, or just like even art journaling, a page that I'm on that is a really supportive community group that I feel would really benefit you to be around more like-minded people, or more people that would understand some of the things you have gone through and had some of the same experiences as you, so that you've got someone you can relate to, so you don't feel like you have to deal with it mentally all on your own. I'm going to pick another card to go with that one, and we're going to use a Cosmic Dreamer card. The card that came out is the Commander card. I feel and this might be too specific, but I feel like there's someone from the past with a male energy there that's been quite dominating or controlling, that is perhaps either physically lingering in your life and trying to take that control, or emotionally still for you, it's got some control over you, the situation, whatever has happened. Again, that I see being connected to people that have had the same experiences as you will help you through that. The spark, this one is, but I see the flames as people and community that have that same either way of thinking, like-mindedness, experiences. People that you can relate to and really be vulnerable and open up to about the hard stuff. Because, okay, I'm guided to say, in my life I have felt sometimes if I speak something, then I'm manifesting it into the world. And that actually played a negative part in my mental health, because instead of facing the feelings I had and the experiences that I had, I was trying to think them away, feel them away, rather than through them, and being okay with the feelings that I had. Yeah, that's just what came through and left. So I didn't even know what I just said then. Be okay with the feelings that you're feeling. I'll have to watch that back and see what I said. Okay. Oh. It's funny because that message I've given you just then, I actually gave as well to reading number 2, in a way that accepting the darkness, and the same 3 cards came through. So the one being the eclipse card, which shows that darkness, but that's just a part of life, and then the butterfly coming straight after that card, showing to me that the beauty in life as well. So accepting those, both the dark and light part of emotions and being human. And yes, of course, we don't want to feel those uncomfortable feelings, and we want to work through them, and following our intuition to be able to do that astral voyage, and spirituality, and leaning into that spirituality, to be able to decipher and work through what has happened, and finding like-minded people too that can help you work through that. I'm grabbing these cards again, same one, so let's see what they say. Nearly nighttime here in the beautiful Australia. If you didn't know my accent, for those overseas, I think we're pretty distinguishable. Oh, that card also came up in the last reading with the same message, which is just fated encounter, which to me is just accepting that those negative things or those uncomfortable things that have happened to us in life, even though not always asked for, usually not asked for, they're there to guide us to something else and to help us heal some of the most traumatic things for me that I've experienced in my life have opened me up so much in terms of understanding the world and understanding people at a better level, or have a better understanding of that. And even though it's not always what we want, this trauma or these past feelings or this past energy to be coming back to us, we really want to close it off. It happened, and it happened for a reason. And I'm going to look at the synchronicity. I'm going to pick that one up. One just fell onto the ground. Oh, no, 2 did. So I think they're for you. Interesting, more cards from reading number 2. So maybe that one even connects with you as well. Family, travel. So that is coming through for me a little bit in this reading. So not for everybody, of course, but that connection to family, maybe around the specific thing that has happened, and the specific feeling and energy could be somehow related to family or someone that you've moved away from, I would say, in those 2 cards. I don't want to read into those two too deeply though, and be too specific with them. What can we do now? What can we do now to let go? Move forward. Let the love in. Well, everything else is going well. That's the thing. I mean, it's really focused on this past energy and really wanting to work through it and let go of it and accept it for what it is and be okay with it. And maybe that's a part of it. Even the energy coming back is to be okay with that energy that's coming back, or that has come back. Doesn't mean it's here to stay either. Yeah, it's not here to stay. It's not here to stay. It's just part of the progress and the progress and process of letting go and moving through our emotional challenges. And yeah, the card itself says joy, but also being a bird card, which a lot of these ones are in synchronicity, represents spirit to me as well, and the joy in spirit, and leaning into that spiritual connection, and out of the physical of life and into the joy, not necessarily out of the physical, because there's a lot of joy in physical, but out of the physical, I want to say thinking, and just doing the things that actually bring you joy and enjoyment. So if you are wrapped up in this negative energy in your brain that's coming back to I want to say redirect by doing something that brings you joy. So if you are starting to get trapped or brought back into that past, that negative feeling, or someone else is trying to bring you into that past feeling, or whatever that situation might be for you, trying to do more things that bring you joy to get you out of that feeling, so we don't dwell on it. Okay. Yeah, again, more of that spiritual connection too, even being part of meditations or full moon, new moon, finding strength in that has been very beneficial for me, that's for sure. Remembering that connection and finding that connection to source and to your higher self and to spirit, to be able to get out of the negative thinking and that toxic energy that's from the past that's come back. Not giving up and not getting sucked back into it, understanding that it's a part of the process that you've gone through, it's happened, it's over, hopefully, but emotionally it might not feel completely gone, or it might have been brought back up somehow. That's what you like to know today. We have sheep here, so one's coming over to look at me. Whoop. Play in the consequences, synchronicity on our side. Yeah, another bird card too with the synchronicity cards, which to me is all about, joy, playing and connecting to spirit, those three cards together, because that'll help you get out of that past energy, because it can really suck us back in, especially those of us have PTSD. And next card, soulmate, which again doesn't have to be a romantic partner, but spending time with that special person that's come up a few times in here for you, connecting with like-minded people, being vulnerable with people that you trust and love, that would understand, perhaps people that have had the same experiences that you've gone through, and leaning on those people and sharing with them. It's got two people in a tent there camping. They're actually kissing, but that doesn't mean you have to physically kiss them. But that kissing represents to me that really deep vocalization, and sharing of emotions and feelings and what you're going through, because even though, again, that's come up for me. I tried to say it before and I lost it, but sometimes when we feel like we're going to manifest it, if we talk about the negative feelings, or some of us do, and I have before, that you need to let it out. And actually sometimes, and for me it has before too, opening up to my best friend about something that the feeling actually dissipated after I'd done that, and I really didn't expect it to. I really thought it would amp up if I talked about this and let out what's going through my mind, then I'd be focusing on it and I'd be putting energy into it, but it didn't happen like that at all. So I was quite happy. I let it out, and the conversation with the other person really helped me to understand my thoughts around the situation and give me clarity, because I let it out with somebody that I trusted. So by doing that, then I was able to yeah, really accept that, accept the feeling and process it rather than being scared of it. Yeah. So let's see for one last. Oh, I'm going to have to go with this book because my arm was about to fall on it out of pain. Okay. The guide for the advanced soul we're using today, number 3, for a little message. The fates lead him who will, him who won't, they drag. It's actually one of my favorite sayings that I've had in my lifetime, because I spent a lot of my time swimming up the current and fighting against where I'm meant to be, or what might be best for my higher self, perhaps. So the fates lead him who will. So either way, what's going to happen is going to happen. We don't have, it's such a complex thing to say, because we do have control, yet we don't have control. But letting go of that control and letting the fates lead us, rather than struggling against everything that's happening and constantly trying to fix it all. Accepting it and accepting that we are, where we're meant to be, and for a reason, and for whatever reason that is, we don't always know. Thank you very much for tuning in to reading number 3. I hope you enjoyed that and enjoyed the sky changing color in the background. I hope you tune in again. Please give me some feedback, and if you did enjoy the reading, subscribe and watch as I put music out and other readings. At this point in my tarot career, if you can call it that, I'm just getting a lot of practice in, because I don't want to charge anyone for anything until I'm ready. And by feeling ready, I need your feedback to know that I'm tuning into some of you out there, hopefully through high spirit and guides telling me symbolically what you might need to know and what might be beneficial for you in your life. Thank you so much, everybody. Love you lots. Bye.